New York Giants football is so back. And I don't care if it's the preseason, I don't care if it's joint practices. Winning a game and beating another football team is always going to feel good, and it feels damn good to be 1-0. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's react to the 14-3 win that the Giants got over the Detroit Lions. Let's start with the offense and Drew Lock. And I was actually shocked that Malik Nabers and Jalen Hyatt actually ended up playing the first couple of series for the New York Giants. The offensive line looked solid. Joshua Ezeudu was probably the only player on the offensive line that didn't play all that well, but Drew Lock did not play well. He ended up leaving the game, which looked to be he was holding his left side around this area. Couldn't tell if it was his ribs or his hip. It came on a play where Joshua Ezeudu got beat around the corner, and the defensive end, the pass rusher, put a good lick on Drew Lock. But before that, Lock threw a horrible interception, tried to force it into coverage to Isaiah Hodgins, who wasn't even open. There was two guys on him. Lock didn't even see one of them. But even if it was single coverage, the guy that was guarding Hodgins had him on lockdown. Drew Lock didn't look good. He was very hesitant to throw the ball, and it's so hard to tell from the broadcast angle. I haven't got to watch 22. He would hit that back foot, and he's looking, and make a throw. I mean, I just wanted to see him force the ball to Malik Nabers one time. The fact that Nabers played 4 possessions and he didn't even touch or sniff the football or get a target, it was a little bit frustrating to me, but I'm not going to be too worried about that. Some raw stats here. Nate Sudfeld pretty much played the entire game for Detroit as Hendon Hooker had to eventually leave with an injury. He was 13-24. Giants defense, I thought, did a really good job on him. Got pressure, multiple people. We'll expand on those thoughts as well. Giants did really good stopping the run as well. That was something that popped off the page to me. New defensive coordinator Shane Bowen was brought in here because of his ability to build and call a defense that can be good in run support. Giants were not that with Wink Martindale. They did a good job tonight against a very physical Detroit Lions team. And man, oh man, I cannot wait to talk about Dante Miller, Eric Gray, and Tyrone Tracy. Yes, 26 may not be here anymore, but the depth at the running back position was very, very clear for the New York Giants early on. More thoughts around the corner, but we're going to be doing watch parties and post-game videos like this for every single game this season. So if you love the Giants and you want free, informative, entertaining updates every day, subscribe to the channel right now. We'll do a winners and losers video tomorrow coming out of the first preseason game. But it's hard to not just talk about how great Eric Gray was today. A lot of talk coming into the game from me and other people out there at training camp was that Tyrone Tracy was RB2 and it was his job to lose. And Eric Gray kind of had become that forgotten soldier for the New York Giants. He was a 5th-round pick last year out of Oklahoma in 2023. Didn't show a lot in the preseason last year. Had a couple of tough runs, nice runs. But he really struggled as a pass protector in his rookie year. We didn't really get to see any of that today, but what we did see was his ability to eat up green grass, get north and south, and he had a nasty move where he put his foot in the ground, cut the other way, a little jump cut action, and he actually made the Detroit Lions defender touch earth. I'm not ready to say that Eric Gray has won that RB2 job, but I thought he played really well. I mean, all the Giants running backs played well. Tyrone Tracy was the guy that started the game at running back, 5 carries for 26 yards, had a long run of 12 yards. And for a guy that switched from receiver to running back at the midway point of his college career, some people thought that he wouldn't be able to take the contact and break tackles and continue that yards after contact number like he had last year. And I saw a guy that was decisive with his reads. I thought he read the offensive line really well, and he took the hidden yardage that was in front of him and didn't always try to hit a home run, which some thought was a problem for him in college. This was a guy that wasn't afraid of contact, ran through some arm tackles, and I thought he looked really good for the Giants. Also, Dante Turbo Miller, I thought looked good between Tracy and Gray. I was thrilled with the way the Giants running backs ran the ball, and we saw why people call him Turbo Miller, because whether it was a stretch to the right, whether it was a stretch to the left, or it was just a draw play, he was able to get north and south. The speed popped off the page for Dante, and I think that's something that's going to help him make this team. He also had a tackle on kickoff. If you're going to be the third or fourth running back, you got to be able to contribute in the special teams department. And Dante Miller, he did that. But the play of the game was the 48-yard touchdown by Eric Gray on the halfback draw where he made that one cut and he went the distance and did his little dance in the end zone. I was pumped with the way the Giants running backs played. I was also happy with the way Tommy DeVito played. We'll talk about that in a second. But I want to hear from you in the comments section first. This show, I pride myself off audience interaction. So I want to hear from you in the comments section, because if I'm just up here talking and I'm not learning from other Giants fans, we're not getting better as a show. So name a winner from Giants preseason week 1. Which player do you think made the strongest impression, the biggest winner? Let me know your thoughts. Was not really impressed with Drew Lock when he played, and Tommy DeVito had to come in. I don't remember if it was at the end of the first quarter or he came in at the start of the second quarter. But man, before that third-string offensive line came in and before the third-string weapons came in, I thought Tommy DeVito looked in control. He looked more decisive. He looked more confident than Lock did. I mean, how many times did we see DeVito hit that back foot on its drop, balls out, on time, on target, made some really nice throws over the middle of the field, had some good chemistry with Tyree Jackson. I liked the way that DeVito played, man. Jackson, 2 catches, 34 yards, quarterback turned tight end. Bellinger, the other tight end, had 1 catch for 7 yards, didn't really do too much. But when it comes to DeVito, he knows that his life as an NFL quarterback, playing for his hometown team, his childhood team, the New York Football Giants, is on the line. Joe Schoen has not kept 3 quarterbacks since taking over as the Giants general manager. Maybe that changes the injuries to Daniel Jones and the injury guarantee and the shorter leash on him potentially. I don't know. But DeVito is fighting for a roster spot. He even said a couple of weeks ago it would be a major risk for the Giants to cut him and think that they can get him back on the practice squad. DeVito wants to be here. He turned down more guaranteed money to re-sign with the Giants practice squad last year. He showed you and told you he wants to be here. And the way he played today, it is going to make life, or not life, but a very difficult decision for Joe Schoen to make. Do I cut him? Do I keep him? And I don't think the Drew Lock injury to the hip area is that serious. But I'll tell you this much. Tommy DeVito looked better, and the best man should play. I don't care what the guaranteed money said. Tommy DeVito looked like a more in control quarterback and a guy that was more confident in this game today than Drew Lock. I want to talk about Andrew Phillips and defensive players coming up in a second. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking to purchase tickets to a Giants game, a Mets or Yankees game, or even a Knicks game coming up this year, or a comedy show, concert, or something like that, do with our proud sponsor, Game Time. This is their logo. So open up the App Store, just type in Game Time, download the app, create an account, and use that promo code ChatSports, and Game Time will match your first deposit up to, Game Time will give you $20 off your first purchase. Promo code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get last-minute tickets and flash deals. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. So if you're a procrastinator like I am, this app's for you. And if you're tired of all the hidden fees that other ticketing apps hit you with, Game Time is the one you should try. You can get a look at all-in pricing for these tickets. So when you see that one ticket is worth $87, you pay $87 and you don't get hit with all the hidden fees. Download the Game Time app today. Giants, concerts, and more. And use the promo code ChatSports. Download the app, create an account, use the promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. That's ChatSports, ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Because we love and care about you, I'll make sure all that information is down in the comments and description. I was really thrilled with the way that the Giants defense played against the Lions offense. We didn't see really any starters, if at all, for Detroit. So I don't want to take too much away from them. Didn't really see any starters for the Giants on the defensive line. That's kind of one of where I go. I thought the Giants defense controlled the line of scrimmage and controlled the point of attack. We saw multiple defensive linemen on the interior make plays. Elijah Chapman made some plays. Jordan Riley made some plays. Benton Whitley made some plays. Boogie Basham was making some plays. The defensive line for the Giants, I thought, controlled the line of scrimmage. And then the linebackers cleaned up the play. Deontay Johnson looked really good out there. Matthew Adams, he got downhill. And I loved when we saw Drew Phillips, the rookie slot corner out of Kentucky. He was asked to get after it and attack downhill and blitz from the slot. He made a couple of nice plays in the backfield, and he also made a couple of nice plays in coverage as well. So the Giants' line of scrimmage, or defense, controlled the line of scrimmage. I loved that, and I loved what I saw from rookie corner Drew Phillips. I thought Trey Hawkins had some really nice plays as well. The gem, the darling of Giants training camp last year. They looked good. But, man, Deontay Johnson popped off the page. It seemed like you saw him making plays absolutely everywhere. He's been the guy we've been hearing a lot about at training camp so far. And he looked good. And he lived up to that bill. Not ready to say that he's better than Micah McFadden or should be playing above Micah McFadden. But I love that we have three inside linebackers that all seem to be playmakers on this team. Johnson, McFadden, and Bobby Okereke. Giants looked good, man. They didn't back down. I thought that they stood tall and held their own against the Detroit Lions in joint practices. And I thought that they did it again today. You don't want to judge anything off the end score of a preseason game, but I was just proud of the way they fought, proud of the way they played. Trying to think off the top of my head other people that made some big-time plays. Allen Robinson had a nice comeback route for 9 yards. Eric Gray even flashed in the passing game as well, 4 receptions for 46 yards. They tried to get Bryce Ford-Wheaton involved in a couple of fade routes from DeVito. They were unable to connect there. Isaiah McKenzie dropped a punt. Didn't love that, was able to recover it. Gunnar Olszewski looked good, returning punts back there. I thought Tyler Nubin didn't play all that much, but a couple of splash plays. I know one time he had a nice, really solid run fill where he got physical with an offensive lineman. Daniel Bellinger was targeted twice. I think it was one catch for 7 yards. Another time they tried to throw him a stop route over the middle of the field. The defensive lineman was right on his back. Running backs looked good. DeVito looked good. I thought overall the offensive line played pretty well. Joshua Ezeudu struggled, got beat a couple of times. I just don't know if he is an offensive tackle in this league. Giants loved his guard tackle flex coming out of North Carolina. Not sure if he's that guy. Javarius Owens made some good plays as well. We saw him make some physical plays. Number 81. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. I'll just pull up the depth chart. The receiver that came over from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Miles Boykin. He actually caused a fumble on a punt return for the Lions. Trey Herndon had an interception. More of a covered sack, but then it ended up fumbling the ball, so we gave it right back to him. But nice to see him make a play in coverage. Darnay Holmes dropped an interception. Drew Phillips looked good. Deonte Banks was targeted once. He had a pass breakup or really forced an incompletion. Overall, I was happy with the way the Giants played, man. And we only got 2 more of these. 2 more preseason games until we are live at 5 against the 0-1 Minnesota Vikings. If you are ready for the regular season, hit that thumbs up icon. I know I'm excited. I don't know how you couldn't be excited. Last year sucked. And I'm looking to have a lot more fun this year. So hit that thumbs up icon for me if you're ready. And make sure to join us as we go live on the channel tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down more of this game. We'll have some fun segments, losers and winners, stock up, stock down. We'll do some mailbags and some live audience engagement. So subscribe and turn notifications on. That way I can see you tomorrow. And remember, let's go Big Blue.